The food in Fiji, it's a whole lot different than what I was used to. A whole lot of root crop, whether it's cassava or dalo, both root crops, like a potato, very starchy. Chicken, fish, beef. I ate a lot of chop suey. A lot of chop suey. I like chop suey. Um, oh, and something else I forgot. There's also a large Indian population in Fiji. So you'll get a lot of curry, which I love curry too. And I haven't found a good curry since I've been home, and that's been a long time. So lots of Indian dishes along with the native Fijian dishes. So I gained a lot of weight on my mission, I will admit that, and I couldn't fit back into my suit coming home. So I never worried about starving. Yeah, a lot of really flavorful food. I also loved the earth oven, the lovo. It's where they dig a pit and put rocks, start a fire, put rocks in there, wrap the food up in palm tree leaves, put it back on the hot rocks, you cover the food, you wait a couple hours, you unearth it, and you eat it, and it's some of the best tasting food known to mankind. Way better than In-N-Out. It's awesome. See what else? Yeah, the food's great. When you're there, just keep your mind open. That's my number one advice. Just keep your mind open, and you will enjoy it. I guarantee you'll enjoy the food, and when you come home, you will miss the food. I still miss it, and it's been a long time. So lots of root crop, lots of chicken, beef, fish. You can't find pizza over there. There is a McDonald's in Nandi Town. So if you're really craving your Big Mac or whatever, and you're in Nandi, you can go to the McDonald's there. Yeah, and there's pizza and McDonald's. What else? Yeah, so the food isn't bad. So you'll be all right. You'll survive.
I myself am not a picky eater. I love trying new and exotic foods, and so going to Fiji, liking the food wasn't a challenge for me. I loved it, and I enjoyed it the whole time, and I still miss it to this day. But there are still quite a few missionaries that they'll struggle to get used to the food or not like it, and I think anyone can learn to like it. It's good stuff. I love it. So as far as eating with Fijian members or the native Fijian people, well, I guess the main things would first be cassava and dalo. Or let's see, dalo is the Fijian word, taro's I think the more known word for that in English, and cassava is the English word that I know of, but in Fijian known as tapioca. They're both root crops, and you plant them and you just pluck out this big old bulb from the ground, and you peel that, boil it or cook it in an oven type thing, and it's not a whole ton of flavor there. Kind of like a potato, I guess. Doesn't taste like a potato, but similar in like texture and just being more of a starchy filler type of food. But I love it. I think it's really good. And you'll pretty much have one of those with just about every meal you have with a Fijian. Some possible alternatives are also like breadfruit or a couple other root crop type things, but all pretty similar. But then that's normally just what you eat with whatever your main thing is. I'm pretty sure any RM that hears this is first going to think roro. Roro is the leaf of the dalo plant, and it's cooked up and kind of boiled in a little bit of water most commonly, I think. And if you just have it plain straight like that, kind of comparable, I guess, to a cooked spinach. But if it's cooked all the way, it's really good. If it's not quite cooked thoroughly, though, it's pretty rough to eat because it is actually really itchy and irritating when you swallow it, and your mouth will just be scratchy and your throat will feel scratchy, and it's pretty miserable if it's not cooked all the way, which happens a little more often than you might think, but I'd still say most of the time it was pretty good for me. And then fish, lots of good fish, just if you're on the coast, a lot of good ocean fish, or if you're up in the interior of the islands, a lot of good fish from their rivers. And a lot of the time, I think my favorite is just cooked in coconut milk. They'll scrape out a coconut and make the milk and just pretty much just boil it right in that, and it's so good. That's one item I learned how to make, and I've made it a couple times since being home. We're just cooking coconut milk with a little bit of salt and a little bit of a moly, type of like lemon lime fruit added in with that, and it is good. It is just delicious. So those are the most common typical Fijian food items. They'll make like other stews and have chicken and other stuff with it as well. As far as it goes with Indian food, curry, lots and lots of curry. And again, a lot of missionaries get pretty sick of it, but I loved it the whole time, and I miss it. I mean, pretty much whatever item they can think of, they'll make it in curry, whether it be chicken or lamb or egg. I think egg curry was one of my favorites. You didn't have to worry about the bones. That's another thing. Both Indian and Fijian meals, they just kind of chop up the whole thing, and so you get the bone all the time, and you gotta learn to pick out the bones as you eat, even with fish. That can be a challenge at first. But lots of curry. And then that's normally on rice with roti, a little flat bread, kind of like a tortilla that you use to eat it with. Or they'll do like a spiced rice sometimes, just called pilau. And it's really quite tasty. Sometimes you might accidentally bite down on a big chunk of a spice, and it might just like explode your mouth, but it's really good. I love all the food there. As far as customs go, I mean, you eat with your hands in most meals. Wash them off in a little bit of a bowl or maybe in a sink, but you'll eat with your bare hands a lot. And it's kind of weird at first, but I really grew to enjoy eating with my hands. And everyone there will tell you it tastes better when you eat with your hands. If you eat with a spoon or a fork, it just doesn't taste as good. So that's what they very strongly believe. And I don't know if I know too much a difference between the two, but they taste similar. So I'd say that's the general food. As far as what most missionaries themselves eat in their flats, most common meal's chow. It's just like a ramen noodle type of thing. It's a pretty heavy staple in the missionary diet when they make their own food. But it's a really, I love them. So not a whole lot in terms of desserts. If you're in the main towns, you might get pies, which are just kind of like a crust with a custard on them, but don't get excited. They're actually typically really bland. Just kind of like dry, crumbly stuff with a flavorless kind of flub on the top. They're not the most flavorful. Every now and again, you'll have someone make one that's got some more sweetness to it, and it's pretty good. But other desserts, they do have their own ice cream factory there in Suva, and so there's ice cream everywhere. You can get ice cream, but typically dessert or anything like that would just be the fruit. How did I miss the tropical fruits? I mean, it's Fiji. It's tons of good fruit. Yeah. If you like mangoes, you're in for a treat. But my personal favorites, I really liked passion fruits and guavas. Not the white kind. They have like the white kind that's more bland, but then they have like the wild pink guava. That one is the good one. So look out for that if you can get it.